Coming up next on the RCWR show, Xtra. It's our inaugural episode. We're talking about Chris Jericho returning to in-ring competition, but with a little bit of a twist. Also, Jeff Jarrett, Global Force Wrestling. We have more names that are making out his roster. Also, remembering legendary blues sensation BB King and more. You are checking out the RCWR show Extra edition for this May 15th, 2015, coming up next. Sanders here of the RCWR show, and you are checking out our inaugural episode, our inaugural edition episode at that of the RCWR show Extra. It's something that's going to be coming to you every couple of weeks when we get a week where there are just so many topics of discussion that has you talking, that has everybody talking throughout social media, whether it's in wrestling or in general entertainment, pop culture. We're definitely going to be talking about it. It's a little bit of a companion piece to our podcast, which you can check out live Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern on Spreaker.com. If you can't join us live, you can check us out on other various platforms such as iTunes, iHeartRadio, Tunein Radio. We're all over the place. Use the keywords in a Bing or Google search, the RCWR show, or check out this episode description in the comment section, episode description below for all the links. Let's jump right into it. So, one of the big pieces of news that came out of the entertainment world this week was the sad passing of blues guitarist, singer BB King, who passed away at the age of 89. Now, if you guys remember, just last week, BB King has said that he had put himself in hospice because he wasn't feeling too good. He actually had stopped a concert tour that he was embarking on a couple of weeks prior due to dehydration and exhaustion. And that is where BB King had passed away at the age of 89. Talk about a good, long life, a long career. Won multiple Grammys, a very well-respected musician. From what I've been able to gather from those that had actually known BB King or have come to pass him, whether they were traveling or saw him at a meet and greet. It was a situation where he was always very humble, always took the time out to interact with his fans, never came off bourgeois, very classy guy. One person tied to the DMV area here at our end, who I believe works at a music shop, he said that if you were to look up the word humble in the dictionary, you would see BB King's face right there. This was a person that did not let the fame get to his head. Definitely will be missed. I was on my commute to work earlier this morning, and when I first had heard the news, first thing I did, I loaded up YouTube best of 1980 to 1990, and I went straight to YouTube, the collaboration they did with BB King, When Love Comes to Town. I cranked that bad boy up so loud. I was jamming. I played it at least 2 to 3 times. Definitely, he is going to be missed. As you would imagine, with his passing, there are already custom playlists that's floating around recommending what essential tracks you should check out and all that. I'll actually give you guys my preference on our next Tuesday night edition of the RCWR show. Wrestling community, you all continue to talk about the sad news that came about from WWE this week, as seen on Monday Night Raw. Daniel Bryan, talk about how heartbreaking it was, with a second major championship belt. Talk about just a rough year and a half to 2 years that it's been for this guy. He had to relinquish the Intercontinental Championship belt, as doctors have told him based on MRIs that he's gotten. There's just no telling right now if and when he will even be able to come back, if at all. And you all have just continued to chime your thoughts with regards to the news, talking about how unfortunate it is for Daniel Bryan. Never mind the fact that he's going to be involved as one of the judges for the new season of Tough Enough coming in a couple of weeks, or the fact that he's going to be embarking on probably a very lengthy book tour, as his new book, Yes, will be coming out this July. We need to give you guys a friendly reminder that we do have a Daniel Bryan book contest that's going on right now. We'll post a annotation link up somewhere in this video, and also have the link be available in the episode description. The deadline to enter that contest is this Sunday, May 17th, 10 p.m. Eastern. Just an unfortunate situation all the way around when you look at this. I was talking about this on our show this past week, and I can't stress it again. You know, on the one hand, you feel bad for Daniel Bryan, especially the position that he's in, but then at the same time, you're also a little bit mad at Daniel Bryan. Now, look at it from these two standpoints, if you will. Now, you're mad at Daniel Bryan for the simple fact that he has all the money in the world at his disposal, and you just look at what's going on with today's technology as far as opening up the body, going in for surgery and all that. I mean, now we're like in a day and age where they can operate on you, and you're probably down for just a couple of days or maybe a week or two before you can begin strengthening exercises and eventually get back to your regular training regime. And for Daniel Bryan, you just hear the reports that's out there, and the way it's looking right now, he is just at this point, the way it's coming off, refuses to get surgery. You kind of can't help but wonder, if you are in WWE's position, when do we cut our ties and when do we just move on? I think they've given him all the time in the world. They've given him so many opportunities. You can't help, if you're WWE, but ask that question, because while he's on the sidelines, you've got a roster full of hungry, determined, very healthy individuals that want that opportunity to be in that spotlight, to have what Daniel Bryan has, and maybe even do better than him, exceed him, where he has stumbled, if you will. And it's just unfortunate all the way around. It's a lose lose situation. I said it Tuesday night. I'll say it again. I want nothing but the very best for Daniel Bryan, even if it's a situation where he is not going to be able to wrestle again. I at least want for him to be 100% healthy. I'm sure many of you all agree with me and those sentiments, but as always, we love hearing back from you, especially with regards to this hot topic. So continue to post those comments down below, and we'll follow up on what I have to say on next week's shows. Also, a lot of you all were looking forward to seeing how WWE was going to be utilizing Adam Rose after the E60 special had aired, and we actually didn't see him on main WWE programming, at least as far as Raw goes. Now, as we're doing this right now, I have not watched SmackDown yet, but I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that he did appear on there. I know one of the last times he popped up after the special, they had him sucking face with Rosa Mendez. Definitely conflicting, considering what we saw of that E60 special. Which, by the way, if you have not seen the E60 special, I highly would encourage you to go out of your way to check it out. It is floating around the web everywhere. I'm sure you could probably check it out on torrent sites and all that. There's one link that I need to verify. I last checked it out last week. I don't know if the video is still up. Safe, it's free, no Trojans, no weird pop ups or anything happens. I'll see if the link is still valid, and if it is, we'll post it in the episode description for you guys. Chris Jericho, he is back with the WWE as far as in ring competition goes. If you follow him on I Am Jericho or also all throughout social media, because I know he has Instagram, Facebook, and all that, he put his dates out there, and the way it's looking right now, all those dates that he has set up, none of those is going to be landing on actual WWE main programming. So those of you looking for him to maybe appear on Raw or SmackDown, that's not going to happen. This is going to be specifically for WWE house shows. So I highly would encourage you, if you've never seen Chris Jericho in action before, I highly would encourage you to do this. And I got to reiterate on something that I said a couple of weeks ago on the RCWR show podcast, which is I think the future of WWE live event house shows, I think this is probably the route that they're going to be going, where you're only going to be able to see exclusive talents at these house show events and not main WWE programming. Consider it to be an extra incentive for going to these house shows under WWE. It feels that much more special. It feels that much more intimate, that much more memorable, if you will, because you buy these tickets at such a great price, and it's like expect the unexpected. You know, one moment you could be going, Jericho's going to be wrestling, or maybe you get an appearance by Rob Van Dam or Rhino or Mick Foley, or maybe you get an appearance by Mean Gene Okerlund. We already mentioned Hulk Hogan, or maybe the Hot Rod, Rowdy Roddy Piper. I think if they make it more intimate, like with what they're doing right now, going forward, I think it would definitely be an extra incentive to that fan that hears that WWE is coming to their respected end with a house show. It's definitely going to make them feel a bit more inclined to go to these events. I feel even got Dave Batista, that has really been loving the idea of just performing at WWE house shows, as he has not been enjoying, at least during his last run, what was going on with main WWE programming. So WWE may have found a new niche going on right here. What do you guys think? Do you think WWE need to go in this direction? Would it make you feel more inclined to go to these house shows, knowing that it's definitely going to be something special and pretty memorable for you to go, and that it probably won't be recorded, it won't be released on the network or anywhere else? Sound off, post your comments down below. Also, we had got more news as far as how things are looking with Jeff Jarrett and Global Force Wrestling, as we now have a new update of his roster as it stands right now for Friday, May 15th, 2015. Here is how his roster is shaping up right now. We have Andrew Everett, the Young Bucks, Takaya Warabi, Trent Beretta, Tia Trinidad, Sanjay Dutt, the Gold Standard, Shelton Benjamin, just announced Scott Hall, also just announced the Young Bucks, Sia Sanada, PJ Black, formerly Justin Gabriel in the WWE, New Heavenly Bodies, Luke Hawx, former RCWR show guest, Doc Gallows, you all remember him when he was in WWE as Festus, Lance Hoyt, Carl Anderson, Jimmy Rave, just announced Jim Cornette, Jigsaw, OVW multi-time champion and former RCWR show guest, the one and only Jamin Olavencia, the Hot Shots, George T. Murdoch, aka Tyrus in TNA Wrestling, aka WWE's Brodus Clay. A little bit of a conflict right there, considering that word on the wrestling beat is that Dixie Carter, as well as many executives in TNA, they understand that the wrestlers assigned to the TNA roster need to work when they aren't able to do anything for TNA, yet they do not want them to take any dates, bookings with WWE. Supposedly, no bookings of any kind with Jeff Jarrett's company. So interesting that we have George T. Murdoch coming on board the Global Force Wrestling promotion. Davey Boy Smith Jr., Cliff Compton, Chuck Taylor, Chris the Adonis, Morzeski, aka Chris Masters, and you already know about the new color commentator in Chael Sonnen, Quinn Moose, you know him from ROH, and also from OVW, and at one time on the TNA roster for their Knockouts division, Lady Tappa. That is pretty much rounding out the roster right now for Global Force Wrestling. Oh, we also missed another name, Scott Hall. That was another one that was just announced. Scott Hall has now joined the GFW roster. Now, I had some harsh words, if you will, to say about the roster reveal partially this Tuesday night after Jeff did the conference and all that, and at the time we just had like about maybe 6 to 7 names that were announced. But now that we have more names that were announced, what are you all's thoughts? I don't want to make it be all about me, but I'll definitely follow up on all these names I just mentioned on our next podcast. But you hear this full roster right now, the way it's looking. What are you all's thoughts with regards to it? You need a little bit more? Let me know. Sound off. And that's pretty much been all the main stuff that's been going on. Couple of notes that we are working on for our next podcast edition of the RCWR show, Tuesday night, May 19th, 2015. We are working on the following. We're going to take a look at wrestling pay-per-views for cable satellite providers, and we're going to tackle what exactly the future holds for them. We're also going to take a look at the Ascension and ask the question, what can be done to drastically improve them in a big and positive way. Also, we'll go into the RCWR show spotlight on this new Owen Hart DVD that is said to be underway, despite the fact that they do not have blessings from Owen Hart's widow, Martha Hart. I'll sound off about that, and also put the stamp down on whether or not Owen Hart should go into the WWE Hall of Fame next year. So make sure you join us for that. Of course, we'll also have our big highlight of that episode, which will be our conversation with former WWE superstar JTG of Crime Time, talking about his new book, Damn! Why Did I Write This?, which is available right now. So, how did we do? Do you enjoy the RCWR show Extra? Would you like a little bit more? Are there other areas of interest you want us to talk about more other than wrestling or more wrestling oriented? Sound off. Let us know. We love the feedback from you guys. You can interact with me and follow me on Twitter at the RCWR Show. Facebook, Infinity One Productions. That's with an E, spell out one. Infinity One Productions. And if you're new, love to have you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on all the great content we do for you here exclusively on a weekly basis. Whether it comes to breaking news, doing great reviews, or having some fun and insightful interviews, we do a little bit of something for everybody. So do hit that subscribe button. Make sure you give this a thumbs up. When you do, you're showing your love and appreciation for us YouTube video creators, and share this a number of ways all throughout social media. You know the links, you know how to do it. Black Avenger Lee Sanders wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly be kind to one another. May the good news be yours. Everybody, take care, and thank you for checking out the RCWR Show Extra edition for this May 15th, 2015. Take care.